Welcome to Leader Lifestyle Hub. As we have set the target of completing 200 book summaries in the entire year, here comes the book number 186. The name of the book that we have today is Mastermind, How to Think Like Sherlock Holmes, written by Maria Konnikova. Let us see the target audience, top 3 lessons. Target audience, the 30-year-old person who is passionate about the story of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, and the 35-year-old person who loves to read about psychology and mind tricks or magic that happens in the magic shows, or 27-year-old individual who feels as if they have biases that alter their judgment and want to learn how to let them go. Let us see the small synopsis. Mastermind. How to think like Sherlock Holmes presents the story of the one of the most famous detectives we have ever known, and his adventures in a world of uncovering mysteries while highlighting the secrets of his powerful mind, psychological tricks, deduction games, and teaching you how to strengthen your cognitive capacity. Listen from Let us listen from the author herself, Maria Konnikova. The most powerful mind is the quiet mind. If it is the mind that is present, reflective, mindful of its thoughts and its state. It doesn't often multitask, and when it does so with a purpose. So always keep your mind in the present state. Whether you are passionate about crimes and the world of mystery or don't have too much to do with it, you have probably heard the name of the Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. The mystery solving duo rose to the fame by solving even the most difficult criminal cases in London, all through their astonishing brain power. Their popularity went on to grow with the appearance of the BBC show that carries their name. Even today, millions are fascinated by the power of deduction, intuition, and the benefits of training their brain to uncover minute details all through all through neuroscience and psychology. Nevertheless, these are the topics we will explore in the summary of the book Mastermind, How to Think Like Sherlock Holmes, written by Maria Kornikovas. This book presents the mind hacks that the famous real-life detective Holmes used to debunk tricky cases and solve crimes in the London. The book explores the right mind structures, retention tips and tricks, memory skills, a conscious approach to problem solving, and many other brain hacks to think just like Holmes. Reading this book will improve your logical reasoning and your problem solving skills, all while helping you become proactive in your thinking and analyze things more in depth. Let us see the top 3 lessons. Here are the 3 most fascinating lessons from this book. Our brain has 2 systems, one that is reflexive and another one that is conscious. Remember that our brain has 2 systems, one is reflective and the other one is conscious. Remember that information better by storing it in the structures and main folders in your mind. Like how do you store the data into the laptop or computer? In the same way, remember information is storing into the computer of the mind. Biases and heuristics can significantly alter our decision making and thinking processes. To train your mind like Detective Holmes, you will have to pay attention to these lessons in depth. Therefore, we will explore each one of them in detail. Let us see lesson number 1. Learn to harness your conscious system and notice the patterns of the reflexive one. There are 2 systems again, I am repeating. One is reflective, another one is conscious. As humans, we are wired in curious ways. Take our brain as an example. We have a conscious mind that can actively think about the problems, ways to fix them, interpret surroundings, and many more. which helps us to find out the clues in the crime place. Then there is our reflexive system on the other side of the coin, which takes the first answer as the correct one. Now guess which one we are using more. Hint, it is the reflective system. Our brain is self-trained to save energy and interpret surroundings in the most convenient way. However, if you want to make the most out of your thinking processes, you will have to learn to use your active cognitive power. To do so, psychologists call for mindfulness, which is the part art, part science of living in the moment. Actively acknowledging surroundings and feelings, and overall being aware. This system takes energy and focus, which is why it is not easy for us to engage with it. However, if you want to think reasonably and logically, you will have to keep reminding your brain that it must be proactive, engaged, and aware. You must give yourself a wake-up call in the face of challenges and actively think about solutions while questioning assumptions rather than take the easy way out. Let us move on to the lesson number 2. Let me repeat lesson number 1 again. Learn to harness your conscious system and notice the patterns of the reflexive one. Reflexive one is which gives the answer of first answer as a right answer. Whereas the conscious system is ways to fix the objects and interpret it, surroundings, and observe all the things, be conscious, and then take decision. Let us see the lesson number 2. To declutter the brain and think better, you will have to understand how to store information. The brain works enough on its own to make you function, but when it comes to proactive thinking, you'll have to bring consciousness into play. Therefore, in the face of unsolvable mysteries, Sherlock Holmes was doing just that. One good way to do so is by training your brain to remember important information and structure it in a user-friendly way. Sherlock Holmes thinks of his brain as an attic where information gets stored. The attic hosts contents, which might be experiences, which might be your memories, birthdays, or anniversaries, or the marriages, or any experiences and memories that you have in your life, information that you gather from the books, persons, and the coaching courses, lessons from the school, colleges, whatever the information that you gather till the lifetime, and the knowledge which stored in your brain as a ROM, read-only memory, or random access memory, and the structures, the way you store the content. Therefore, you can actively decide where and how to store content and move it around to create blocks of specific information. You can even try it now, right now, by adding all this information, whatever we have read, into a mind block called psychological tricks as an example. So whatever we have learned on this day, 3 lessons like conscious system, reflexive system, and declutter of brain. So even the storage of the information, you can simply store this information, adding all this information into a mind block called psychological tricks. Now, Sherlock Holmes also keeps a main attic folder in his brain. If you consider this brain as a computer, and there is one folder, it's like a D drive or E drive or C drive where you keep lot of folders. Sherlock Holmes created a main attic folder in his brain, which constantly stores important and urgent information that he needs. In the attic folder, he included important and urgent. This information helps him solve cases. Therefore, to retain such pieces of data, you will have to motivate yourself to remember them. Link it to already existing information or make it as tangible as possible. Let us move on to the lesson number 3, biases, the weather or our faulty assumptions, and many other factors alter our decision making process. Naturally, our decision making process is constantly changing based on our life experiences, information accumulated over time, interactions with our over people, and many other factors. Let me repeat the statement. Our decision making process is constantly changing based on our life experiences. Whatever we have seen, the experiences in our life, information accumulated over time from different resources, books, persons, and coaching courses, learned from different people, and interactions with other people, how you interact with your family, how you interact with your friends, colleagues, and many other factors. Based on all these things, your decision making process will be changed. In other words, we are inclined towards certain biases that alter our judgment. To break free from them and achieve maximum objectivity, we'll have to acknowledge them first. Neuropsychology shows that we like to make decisions based on the rule of the thumb. Some of our decisions are a result of the availability heuristic, which implies that we judge based on how much information we can remember. Obviously, other bits of data could change the entire decision, yet we choose to answer right away, even if we know that we can't recall the entire information. We are also biased to judge people based on our first impression of them or what other people said about them. These biases and many others affect our judgment heavily and can alter the entire course of a decision. For this reason, we must force ourselves to be objective and have all the information available before making a decision. Moreover, it's best to always doubt ourselves and try to notice biased patterns. This is all about mastermind. The most powerful mind is all about quiet mind, which is more reflective and it is stays in the present mode and being mindful of its thoughts and its state. So even though it does multitask, it does so with a purpose. So how Sherlock Holmes think? He thinks like with an attic folder. There is a in the brain. He keeps an attic folder. In the attic folder, he used to keep most important and urgent, important related tasks. So this is how Holmes keeps an main attic folder, which constantly stores the important and urgent information that he needs. Like whenever he go to the crime area, he observe the important things and which are needed immediately for identifying the solution. And remember that there are two systems in our brain. One is reflexive, another one is conscious system. In the conscious system, you can actively think about the problems, ways to fix them. Sometimes, even though sometimes we can't even solve a puzzle, at the time our mind will act as a conscious system. We will keep thinking on the how to solve the problem and how to identify the answer and how to get the answer from others, interpret the surroundings. All of these things happen with the help of conscious system. Whereas in the reflexive system, it is like saying that your first answer is the correct answer. Like whatever you assume, it is correct answer. That is all about reflexive system. But we are using more reflexive system. We need to convert that reflexive system to conscious system. So try to convert the conscious system with the help of mindfulness. And second lesson that we have seen is declutter the brain and think better. You will have to understand how to store information, which is information you need to store in your brain. And the third one is we have our decision making process with the help of others influence, but we need to take decision making based on our own experiences. And neuropsychology shows that we like to make decisions based on the rule of the thumb. What is the rule of the thumb? Some of our decisions are a result of the availability heuristic, which means we judge based on how much information we can remember. So suppose you can remember 100 mobile phone numbers in your brain. We judge based on that, how much you remember. That's how you take a decision making. So we can't recall the entire information, but you have to choose to answer right away. So that implies that biases are and many other factors alter our decision making process. So always, if you are keeping on mindfulness, then you will force yourself to any objective and solve any problem or solve any challenges in your life with the help of conscious mind. So that's all from my side. See you in another book summary tomorrow. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing.